Okay, let's begin with AS-4. Okay, understand the heading of AS-4. It says contingencies and events occurring after the balance sheet date. Underline the word after the balance sheet date. Now, what is the meaning of after the balance sheet date? After 31st March. So, after 31st March, if there is something that is happening, how do we disclose that, or how do we report that in the financial statements? Now, when I say this, you should have a question that, sir, financial statements begin 1/4 and they end on 31st March. Now we have a cutoff 1/4 to 31st March. Then why are we talking about after the balance sheet date? Now, please understand, this is also very important concept. After the balance sheet date technically means bef- after after the balance sheet date means after 31st March, but before books are approved by board of directors. After 31st March, but before books are approved by board of directors. Right, okay. One more important thing. The heading of this accounting standard is contingencies and events occurring after the balance sheet date. Let me also tell you that earlier the concept of provisions and contingent liability was also covered in AS4. तो पहले जो provisions का concept है was covered in AS4. Now provisions was already covered in AS4. Then later on they decided to make a new standard, and they made a new standard, accounting standard 29. All provisions were transferred from AS4 to AS29 except one, and that is provision for bad and doubtful debts. So except BDR, everything has now shifted from accounting standard 4 to accounting standard 29. Accounting standard 29 we have already done, right? And majority of AS4 has been shifted to AS29. Now only a limited part is left in AS4, which we will be understanding today. Now, what is the meaning of provisions and contingencies occurring after the balance sheet date, and why are we studying this? Provisions and contingencies means any uncertainties that are happening after the balance sheet date but before approval of the financial statements by the board of directors. I'll give you an example why this standard has been made. Suppose on 1/4/2019 we start our financial statements, which we end on 31st March 2020. So after 31st March 2020, say for example on 10th April 2020, there is a huge fire in our premises. There is a huge fire in our premises when on this fire took place on 10th April 2020. Does it fall in the financial year 19 and 20? Answer is no. It does not fall in the financial year 1920. However, my AGM will be conducted somewhere in the month of September 2020. When I am at the AGM at September 2020, the question is I will discuss only about 1/4/2019 to 31st March 2020, and I will be discussing profits and financial position of this period. Which period? 1/4/19 to 31st March 20. But in my case, on 10th April, there was a huge fire. And because on 10th April, there was a huge fire, all my profits are gone. So at the AGM, you tell the investor कि देखो 1/4/2019 से 31st March 2020 के हमारे बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स है, मैंने आपके सामने प्रेजेंट किए, लेकिन 31st मार्च खत्म होने के 10 दिन बाद हमारे वहां देयर इज अ ह्यूज फायर बिकॉज ऑफ विच वी हैव अ लॉस ऑफ 5 lakh rupees. I am telling you upfront we have a loss of 5 lakh rupees. Now you decide whether you want to continue investing in our company or you want to withdraw your investment. Are you understanding? Remember, your duty is to give all information. Once the investor receives all the information, then it is his decision whether he wants to continue or not in this company. Are you understanding? So it is important for us to inform. Why? Because we are talking about 1920 in the month of September. However, just before the month of September, in April, we've had a huge fire which is affecting the profits as on 1920. So it is important we inform to whom? To the shareholders that this event has happened. Are you understanding? So it is important to inform them that something that has happened after the balance sheet date, but before the books of accounts have been approved by the board of directors. Are you understanding? Okay. Then moving further, they made one more decision. They decided that all events that are occurring after the balance sheet date, again I am repeating, the meaning of after the balance sheet date is after the balance sheet date but before the financial statements are approved by the board of directors or the approving authority. So in case of partnership firm, the partners are the approving authority. In case of LLP, designated partner is the authority. In case of trust, trustee is the authority. In case of a company, the board of directors are the authority. ये दोनों डेट के बीच में, कौन सी डेट के बीच में? बैलेंस शीट डेट और डेट जब बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स अप्रूव करते हैं, इन दोनों के बीच में यहाँ पे अगर कोई भी ट्रांजैक्शन हुआ है तो वो ट्रांजैक्शन को हम क्या कहेंगे? कंटिंजेंसीज एंड इवेंट्स अकरिंग आफ्टर द बैलेंस शीट डेट. Right? Are you clear till here? Okay. Then contingencies and events are occurring after the balance sheet date are divided into two parts. Understand this carefully. They are divided into two parts. What is divided into two parts? Contingencies and events occurring after the balance sheet date are divided into two parts. The first part says that either it is an adjusting event or it is second part, non-adjusting event. बहुत इजी कंसेप्ट है, ध्यान देना. या तो वो एडजस्टिंग इवेंट है या तो वो नॉन एडजस्टिंग इवेंट है. ओके, लेट अस बिगिन विथ एडजस्टिंग इवेंट. नाउ फर्स्ट आई विल एक्सप्लेन द डेफिनेशन टू यू. जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड एंड रिमेंबर व्हाट एम आई सेइंग. जब मैं एग्जांपल दूंगा तो पूरा डेफिनेशन आपको कंसेप्चुअली समझ में आ जाएगा. राइट? इसलिए ध्यान देना. आई एम सेइंग एडजस्टिंग इवेंट मींस it is an event which relates to the balance sheet date. It relates to the balance sheet date. Now, for that, we are getting additional information. Right? The definition says it relates to the balance sheet date, means it already existed on the balance sheet date. Only thing is, now we got additional information. Again, I'm repeating. Adjusting event means event that already existed on the balance sheet date. Now what is happening? Now we are getting additional information pertaining to that particular thing. This entire concept is known as adjusting event. Right, now let's understand this with the help of an example. मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल दूंगा, आपको पूरा कंसेप्ट पता चल जाएगा. इसलिए ध्यान से सुनना जो भी मैं बोल रहा हूँ. This concept says that, say for example, on 1st of March 2020, I sold goods of rupees 50,000 on credit to Mr. A. Right? The moment I sold on 1st March, I told I told Mr. A that I have sold goods to you of 50,000 on credit, and I told Mr. A to make the payment. Mr. A on 15th March 2020 told me that my financial condition is very bad. Mr. A on 15th March 2020 told me that, sir, my financial condition is very bad. I think I will not be able to pay. He said, I think I will not be able to pay. I pressurized him that, sir, I've sold you for 50,000. You have to pay. You have to pay. He said, okay, I will pay. I will pay 40,000, which means I have a loss of 10,000. But he told me that he will try. He told me that he will. How much is the uncertainty today? I have sold goods to him worth rupees 50,000. He said he will try to pay everything, but he will surely pay 40,000, which means I have a possible loss of 10,000. My question to you is, अनसर्टेनिटी कितने अमाउंट की है हमको आज? How much is the uncertainty in this example? 10,000. Of course the uncertainty is 10,000. वो कह रहा है 40 तो मैं दे दूंगा. 10,000 is the uncertainty. Because it is uncertainty and it is more than 50%, I provide a BDR of 10,000. Okay, ध्यान देना. I provide a bad and doubtful reserve of 10,000 on which date? 31st March 2020. 31st मार्च 2020 को क्या हुआ? मैंने बीडीआर किया. फिर से एग्जांपल समझा रहा हूँ. 1 अप्रैल गुड्स बेचे उधार पे 50,000. हमने पैसे मांगे तो उसने बोला यार पैसे तो नहीं है, बहुत प्रॉब्लम है, कैसे भी करके 40 दे दूंगा, 10,000 शायद नहीं दे पाऊंगा. तो मैंने 10,000 का बीडीआर प्रोवाइड किया. On 5th April 2020, please pay attention to this next point, very important point. On 5th April 2020, Mr. A was declared officially bankrupt. Mr. A was declared officially bankrupt. अब 5th अप्रैल को मुझे शॉक लगना चाहिए? बिल्कुल भी नहीं. बैलेंस शीट डेट पे तो मुझे पता था कि ये आदमी का फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन ठीक नहीं है. मैंने बैलेंस शीट डेट पे बीडीआर 10,000 भी प्रोवाइड किया था. दिस सिचुएशन व्हिच हैपेंड ऑन 5th अप्रैल already existed on the balance sheet date. It already existed on the balance sheet date. The situation on 5th April already existed the balance sheet already existed on the balance sheet date. Now we have got additional information that he has become bankrupt. Is it already existing on the balance sheet date? Yes. Now we have received additional information. This is known as adjusting event. What will we do? We will adjust the books of accounts. Means we will provide a bad debt in the books of accounts. Are you understanding? Is this concept absolutely clear that after the balance sheet date, but before the approval of the board of directors, you had some event? That event ka basic information existed on the balance sheet date. That situation, that condition existed on the balance sheet date. However, after the balance sheet date, when he became bankrupt, we got additional information. Now, this additional information pertains to the situation existing on the balance sheet date. This is known as adjusting event. What will you do with the adjusting event? You will adjust your books of accounts, right? Tell me, have you understood this? If you have understood this, then we go to non-adjusting event. If you have understood this, then we go to a non-adjusting event. Okay, another example for adjusting event. Someone told me that there is a new law that is going to come, and because of the new law, it may so happen that we will have to pay 40,000 rupees. So suppose there is a new law pertaining to my business. My business is a restaurant business. So in my business, which is a hotel or a restaurant business, someone told me कि एक नया law आएगा और आपको 40,000 rupees शायद pay करना पड़ेगा. तो आई थॉट कि चलो 40,000 पे करना पड़ेगा, तो मैं 40,000 का प्रोविजन कर देता हूँ. अभी तक नया लॉ आया नहीं है. राइट। या अभी तक कोई रूल पास हुआ नहीं है, लेट्स नॉट यूज द वर्ड लॉ, लेट्स मेक इट इजियर। तो मैंने 31 मार्च 2020 को 40,000 का प्रोविजन कर दिया। 5 अप्रैल 2020 को ये रूल एप्लीकेबल हो गया। क्योंकि 5/4/2020 को ये रूल एप्लीकेबल हो गया, मेरे लिए कोई नई बात नहीं है, मेरे लिए कोई शॉक की बात नहीं है, मुझे तो पहले से ही पता था। On 31st March, this situation existed. So now on 5th April, when this rule is becoming applicable, I am getting more information about a situation that already existed on the balance sheet date. This is known as adjusting event. What will I do? I will provide the for this expense in the books of accounts. So I will remove the provision and show it as an actual expenditure. Are you understanding? Hope that makes things clear. Right. So Spruha, please let me know if this example has helped you understand in a better manner. Okay, perfect. Chalo. Now let's go to the next one, which is non-adjusting event. Let's go to the next one, which is a non-adjusting event. Now understand what is the meaning of a non-adjusting event. Non-adjusting event means something which happened after the balance sheet date, but that situation did not exist on the balance sheet date. Something which happened after the balance sheet date, but that situation did not exist on the balance sheet date. This situation is known as a non-adjusting event. Right? Now, there is another word also for non-adjusting event, that is known as new developments. नॉन एडजस्टिंग इवेंट मींस जो बैलेंस शीट डेट पे हमको इसका कोई आइडिया ही नहीं था, ये तो न्यू डेवलपमेंट है, नए से ये प्रॉब्लम आया हमारे सामने. As of now, we were not aware of any such situation. For example, till 31st March 2020, everything was proper. On 5th April 2020, there was an earthquake and our factory building was demolished. On 5th April, there was an earthquake. Because of the earthquake, our factory building got demolished. It got destroyed. There was a loss. My question to you all is, and please answer this, were we aware that on 5th April we will have an earthquake? Were we aware that on 5th April that we on 31st March that we will have an earthquake on 5th April? We were not aware. हमको 31st मार्च को पता ही नहीं था कि 5 दिन बाद अर्थक्वेक आने वाला है. ये तो हमारे लिए सरप्राइज था. इट वाज a new development. Now, because it is a new development, it is known as a non-adjusting event. क्या कहेंगे हम लोग इसको? Non-adjusting event. This is what? This is a non-adjusting event. Are you understanding? So this non-adjusting event, what will we do? Either we will disclose in the notes to accounts. First thing that we will do is we will disclose in the notes to accounts. No need to adjust the financial statements. Financial statements को adjust करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. क्यों कोई जरूरत नहीं है? क्योंकि ये non-adjusting event है. It is a new development. Second point, if it is a regular operating item, I'll give you an example of regular operating item later on when we reach the standard. Right now, I'm just giving you an overview of accounting standard 4. If it is a regular operating item, then even disclosure is not needed. Right? So if it is a regular operating item, then even disclosure is not needed. Are you understanding? Okay, fine. This is all that you have to study. There is one more point. Okay, I'll explain that point also to you. Then we go to the book. It says there is one exception to the rule. अंडरस्टैंड दिस केयरफुली। एक एक्सेप्शन है, मैं फिर से समझाता हूँ। एडजस्टिंग इवेंट, समथिंग विच यू ऑलरेडी न्यू ऑन द बैलेंस शीट डेट, नाउ यू आर गेटिंग एडिशनल information pertaining to that. So this is something that existed on the balance sheet date. So this is an adjusting event. You will adjust the financial statements. Then you have non-adjusting event. Non-adjusting event means they are new developments. New developments you are not aware on the balance sheet date. So this is a non-adjusting event. You will only disclose in the notes to accounts. If it is a regular operating item, then even disclosure in the notes to accounts is not required. अब इस रूल पे, मतलब नॉन एडजस्टिंग इवेंट के रूल पे एक छोटा सा एक्सेप्शन है, ध्यान देना। वो ऐसा कहता है कि आपका नॉन एडजस्टिंग इवेंट should not be so big that it affects the going concern assumption. Are you understanding? नॉन एडजस्टिंग इवेंट इतना बड़ा नहीं होना चाहिए कि हमारा गोइंग कंसर्न ही अफेक्ट करता है। अगर वो हमारा गोइंग कंसर्न अफेक्ट करता है, we will treat it as an adjusting event. लॉजिकल पॉइंट है। अगर गोइंग कंसर्न अफेक्ट हुआ तो हमको किस पे सारी असेट्स एंड लायबिलिटीज रिकॉर्ड करनी पड़ेगी? नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू पे। नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू पे रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए हमको क्या करना पड़ेगा? वी विल हैव टू एडजस्ट द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, मतलब हमको उसको कैसे ट्रीट करना पड़ेगा? एडजस्टिंग इवेंट के हिसाब से ट्रीट करना पड़ेगा। Are you understanding? Again, I am repeating this for you. Adjusting event, non-adjusting event. Non-adjusting event should not be so big that it affects your going concern assumption. अगर non-adjusting event, I'll give you a better example. 31st मार्च को आपके बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स क्लोज हुए, 10th अप्रैल को बहुत देयर वाज अ ह्यूज फायर, आपकी सारी मशीन्स डिस्ट्रॉय हो गई, आपकी सारी फैक्ट्री खराब हो गई, सब कुछ खत्म हो गया, और अब आप ऐसा सोच रहे हो अब ये बिजनेस मैं नहीं चला पाऊंगा बाय फायर, विच इज सो बिग that it is affecting your going concern assumption. You may now not even continue the business because it is so big that it affects your going concern assumption. You will be treating this as an adjusting event and you will record this in the financial statement. Means you will adjust the financial statements in this case, right? Are you understanding? Hope that makes the entire concept clear. Let's quickly go to accounting standard 4, which is on page number 41. Come to accounting standard 4, page number 41. Accounting standard 4, page number 41. It says AS-4, contingencies and events occurring after the balance sheet date. ध्यान देना, AS-4 deals with first point, contingencies and events occurring after the balance sheet date. देखो, जो भी मैंने आपको ओवरव्यू दिया है वो सब कुछ यहाँ पे रिपीट होने वाला है, मतलब जितना भी मैंने आपको अभी समझाया है वो सब कुछ वापस रिपीट होगा, मैं दोबारा समझाने वाला हूँ, इसलिए आप ध्यान देना। मैंने अभी आपको सिर्फ ओवरव्यू दिया है, so I've just given you a brief, a bird's eye view of the entire accounting standard. Now when we read step by step, you will be able to understand everything again clearly. So just pay attention, I will be repeating everything again. AS-4 deals with contingencies and events occurring after the balance sheet date. जो भी मैंने बोला है देखो वो रिपीट होगा. Earlier provisions and contingencies were covered by accounting standard 4. However, with the introduction of AS-29, they are now covered by accounting standard 29 and withdrawn from accounting standard 4. तो मैंने आपको बताया पहले सब कुछ AS-4 में ही था, फिर 4 से हटा के काफी सारे कंसेप्ट्स 29 में उन्होंने शिफ्ट किए, तो अब हम लोग अब अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 4 में लिमिटेड पार्टी है। Events occurring after the balance sheet date, these are both, देखो they are using the word events. Events मतलब both favorable भी और unfavorable भी. So देखो what they have written, these are events which are both favorable and unfavorable, which occur after the balance sheet date but before approval of the financial statements by the board of directors or similar competent authority. Which means, what is an event occurring after the balance sheet date? It is both events, favorable and unfavorable, which occur after 31st March, after the balance sheet date, but before the books of accounts are approved by the board of directors. तो board of directors books of accounts को approve करे उससे पहले ये event होता है और balance sheet date के बाद होता है, which means balance sheet date के बाद मान लीजिए balance sheet date is on 31st March 2020. Books of accounts are approved on 10th May 2020, which means after the balance sheet date is after 31st March 20, but before 10th May 2020. इन दोनों के बीच में जो भी इवेंट होगा उसको हम क्या कहेंगे? इवेंट अकरिंग आफ्टर द बैलेंस शीट डेट. उसको हम दो पार्ट में डिवाइड करेंगे, एडजस्टिंग इवेंट, नॉन एडजस्टिंग इवेंट. नॉन एडजस्टिंग इवेंट, डिस्क्लोजर इन नोट्स टू अकाउंट्स. If it is a regular operating item, then disclosure is also not required. But if your non-adjusting event is so big that it affects your going concern assumption, then you will have to treat it as an adjusting event. How do you treat an adjusting event? Adjusting event means something which already existed on the balance sheet date. Now you're getting additional information relating to same. Therefore, what you will do is you will adjust the financial statements accordingly. Are you understanding? Okay. Come to the next one. Contingencies. It is a situation of contingent liability. आप already पढ़ चुके हो तो आपको इसका आइडिया है जो भी मैं नेक्स्ट पढ़ने वाला हूँ. It says it is a situation or condition the ultimate outcome of which will be known only on occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events. Recent amendment. ध्यान देना. This standard covers contingencies. It should be this standard covers contingencies. Just add that word covers. This standard covers contingencies only to the extent not covered by other AS. For example, provision for bad and doubtful debts. So provision for bad and doubtful debts is not covered by AS-29 because it does not fulfill one of the three conditions of AS-29. There is a present obligation due to a past event. It is probable and the amount of provision can be estimated reliably. ये तीन में से एक कंडीशन बीडीआर फुलफिल नहीं करता, इसलिए उसको 29 से हटा के 4 में रखा गया. Right, that is what they've given. This standard covers contingencies only to the extent not covered by other AS. For example, provision for bad and doubtful debts. Okay, let's quickly have a look at this table and read these points. Exception, till the word exception. Recent amendment, we will continue tomorrow. Right, so pay attention on this. Events occurring after the balance sheet date. Events occurring after the balance sheet date. Event that provides further evidence of circumstances and conditions existing on the balance sheet date. This is an adjusting event. देखो क्या words use किए हैं? Events provide further evidence of circumstances and conditions which exist on the balance sheet date. These are known as what? Adjusting events, as they require restatement of financial statements. Are you understanding? I'm again repeating it for you. Events provide further evidence of circumstances and conditions that exist on the balance sheet date. What is this? This is adjusting event. Why? Because it requires adjustment of financial statements. On the other side, let's look at the example later on. Come to the other side. Events do not provide evidence of circumstances existing on the balance sheet date, which means they are new developments. Very important point. They are new developments. These are non-adjusting events. Financial statements need not be restated. All you will do is make a disclosure of the same. So in this case, what we are going to do is we are going to make a disclosure of the same. Right? Look at the next example. Look at the examples. Sale of inventory giving evidence of its NRV that we have discussed. Discovery of fraud or error which shows that the financial statements are incorrect. Insolvency of a debtor and pending verdict of a lawsuit. On the other hand, in case of non-adjusting events, if it is material, you will provide a disclosure in the notes to accounts. Underline that word. provide a disclosure in the notes to accounts. If it is a regular operating item, then even disclosure in notes to accounts is not required. Are you understanding? So even if it is a regular operating item, then even disclosure is not required. For example, loss caused by fire, changes in value of investment due to fall. It is not tall, it is fall in value of share prices. Now please see the next explanation. Share markets change every day. Hence, they are regular operating items. And because they are regular operating items, no disclosures are required. And finally, retrospective changes in government regulations. So they will be considered as a non-adjusting event. Are you understanding? Okay. Now what we will do is, let us stop over here. First, I want to know from you, have you understood AS-4 till now? Have you understood AS-4 till now? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Then I think let's stop over here. I think this much is sufficient for today. From tomorrow, we continue with the notes. Please revise the entire accounting standard 1 and in accounting standard 4, whatever we have done, please revise that thoroughly. We will now begin tomorrow. You have a half an hour break. So you have an half an hour break. See you back at 11 a.m. for audit. So you have 11 to 12:30 audit. Right? Okay. So take a half an hour break. See you back sharp at 11 o'clock. Right? Thank you so much. Thank you.